Today is Friday, the portal is glowing, and I will be pulling Sacred Shards in today's video to complete the Summon Rush as part of the Lady Noelle Christmas Fusion event. However, if you're pulling shards today, I want you to be careful because this glow is just for a progressive event. Progressive events are nice, but next weekend we expect a 2x Sacred Shard event, and that will also be in conjunction with the Champion Chase, which is part of the Lady Noelle Christmas Fusion event. So we want to go over all of that in more detail so you can make the best decision about how many shards to pull today. And then we've got a little bit of an extra bonus because we got our Chimera rewards today. So we're going to jump into the Forge and forge some new relics as well. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get started. If you are a regular viewer, you know that I have recently started playing King Arthur Legends Rise. Now, I'm really enjoying this game, and I want to create content on it, but I am interested in your opinion. I put up a poll on my main YouTube page asking about how you would like me to cover King Arthur. Do you want me to include it here on my main channel, or would you prefer me to start a second channel devoted entirely to King Arthur? So if you have a moment, please answer that poll, and don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and consider joining our Discord community. Thanks so much. Now let's get back to the video. In order to know how many shards we should pull today, we have to take a look at the Summon Rush reward track. Now, in looking at this, it's exactly what we expected it to be. The rare is at 3,000 points, that's 6 Sacred Shards in, and the epic is at 5,500 points, that's 11 Sacred Shards in. So if you have the Sacred Shards, pulling for the epic is much more efficient, because the first rare costs you 6 Sacred Shards, and then 4 more rares, basically, that's the equivalent, costs you only 5 more Sacred Shards. Now, there are some additional considerations. We do have a potential for a 2x Sacred Shard event next weekend, but we don't know for sure that that is happening. This is Plarium, it's the holiday season. They may mess with us and do something else. We could get a pull one, get one on legendaries. We could get a guaranteed legendary event. We could have a pull everything shard event. We really don't know. However, if you were just expecting that Champion Chase to be the way that you would expect it to be for a normal fusion event, that was probably going to take you 6 or 7 Sacred Shards worth of pulls to get just one more rare. So it's definitely more efficient to get your epic here and then skip that Champion Chase and potentially skip a few other events as well, especially since this is the holiday season and maybe you need a little bit of time off from raid. This epic is your way to do that. Now, beyond the epic here, there are 5 more skill tomes, 2 legendary skill tomes and 3 mythical skill tomes. If you complete the whole track, that will take you 20 Sacred Shards or the equivalent thereof. And that's not a bad return for your shards in terms of the books, right? So going from 11 to 20, that's 9 additional shards for 5 skill tomes. That's pretty good. Now, for me personally, I have a decent, healthy pool of Sacred Shards, but I'm probably going to stop right around this epic. I may pull 1 additional shard in order to get this first legendary skill tome, because 1 shard for 1 book is actually, that's a great return, and I can just complete the extra 250 points with mystery shards. So that's probably my plan for today, but again, you want to calculate not just your Sacred Shards for today, but what you are planning to do next weekend, and also what you want to do over the holiday, in order to determine if you want to go for this epic or not. Now, before we actually pull shards, I do want to go ahead and craft some new relics. I'm kind of excited for this. This is fun. I did a little bit of the math, and I'm just going to explain this really briefly because you may be wondering. If you go ahead and put in 4 rares here, you've got a 15.5% chance of an epic. And you can substitute these rares for epic materials, and you see that increases your chance, and you could in fact do that again and increase your chance further for an epic. So for instance, in my particular situation, I could do 1 forge, 1 crafting, whatever you want to call it, event with 2 batches of the epic materials, or I could do 2 independent crafting pulls with 1 batch of the epic materials each, which is mathematically better in terms of giving me the highest chance to land an epic or a legendary relic? And the answer is, it's the same. It's actually the same. I think they calculated it that way. So if I do 2 pulls like this or I do one pull like this and then the other pull with just rares, I have the same chance of getting a epic or better overall. So it doesn't really matter. You don't have to worry about this too much. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 2 pulls like this, I think. And then I do have a third pull, which is going to be all, we'll actually start there. We have a third pull that's going to be all rare materials. So yeah, just in case you were wondering about the math and what might be the most advantageous combination of these, they're basically set up so that it's equivalent. All right, let's go ahead and pull these relics. I'm hoping for something. I'd love to see an epic today at some point. Journal of Necrotus. I think I got one of these. Yeah, I got one of these last week. So that is not a new relic for me, but that's okay because this is actually pretty good. Whereas heals and turn meter increase effects applied to allies are boosted by 15%. So any turn meter filler and any healer would get value out of this. And somebody who has both, that would be really nice, right? So somebody like Astrid who has both heals and turn meter boosts, she would actually get this twice. I don't think there's a cooldown here. It doesn't look like there's a cooldown here. So it would literally happen every time. Not bad. All right, so now let's go ahead and do our slightly more improved pulls here. We've got 2 of these. I'm hoping for an epic today. Nope, we got another rare. I think this is a new one. Diadem of Undeath, whereas defense increases by 1% for each ally under an ally protection buff. So this is just for ally protectors, basically. And I don't really use any of those right now, I don't think. I have several, but I don't use any of them. Come on, how about an epic or a legendary? Just give me something. Nope, we got another Journal of Necrotos. But again, this is probably the most valuable for me. I now have 3 copies of this, but I have more than 3 champions that I could throw this onto, so I don't mind. The extra HP is not bad as well. And as you level up, I forget what you get for the Necrotos. What stats you get. You get defense and resistance. So, that's good for a cleanser. That can be good for any kind of champion that you need to just keep alive, right? A tank, support champion, healer, anything like that. Okay. All right, so nothing super exciting from the relics, but still fun to do that first. In looking at the summon portal, we have a progressive chance event going on. I'm just going to be pulling sacred shards. You can see I have 27. And again, I'm probably going to pull 11 or 12. I could go beyond that for additional tomes. I have the shards. I could pull all 20 if I needed to, but I don't know that I would do that unless I hit on the progressive chance and I thought I had a chance of getting beyond that. It's not the worst thing in the world for me to pull all 20, but I would prefer to hold on to more. So I'm probably going to land somewhere around that 11 or 12 mark. Now, as far as the progressive champions are concerned, this is actually really cool. There are several great progressive champs here. There are 3 I don't own. I don't own, what's this guy? Operdin. I don't own him. I don't own Duchess. And then there's this new champion, and I don't really know him that well. So I want to just quickly, before I decide I want to take a look at him, let's go take a look at him. I think he is a high elf. I looked at him very briefly, and I think he's got an interesting kit, if I remember correctly. So stat-wise, almost 22,000 HP. That's really nice. 1,200 defense is solid. 103 speed. Some resistance, some accuracy. So pretty good all-around stats. He is a support champion, and he is Spirit Affinity. Has a double hitter. Each hit looks like it has a 50% chance of placing a stun, so that's not bad. After attacking, transfers all debuffs from the ally with the most debuffs to the target. That's interesting. That's literally a full cleanse on a teammate every single time you A1. That's a decent skill. That's actually a really powerful A1. It's not just a cleanse, it drops it on the target. Now, I wonder what happens when you have multiple champions with the same number of debuffs, because it says the ally with the most debuffs. But if like all of your allies say have 3 debuffs each, who does it pick? Is it random or is it based on the team order? Because if it's based on the team order, then you could like put your damage dealer or somebody in a very particular spot and make sure they're the one who's always getting this cleanse. So this is a very powerful A1. We haven't really seen anything like this before. There are a few champions who have these transfer debuff things, but nothing like that on an A1. That's crazy strong. The A2 attacks one enemy before attacking, removes all buffs from the target. So it's a single target buff strip on a 3-turn cooldown. The ally with the highest crit damage will team up and join the attack. That's pretty cool. The ally joining the attack will use their default skill and ignore 35% of the target's defense. Ooh, imagine using somebody like a Phoenix with this, right? Just build a really hard-hitting Phoenix, and you know that he's going to join in on this attack and hit with that super hard A1. Or you could use an A1 that has additional debuffs like a weaken or decreased defense or a stun or something. Yeah, I wonder if this is considered an ally attack and Highkeeper Prisma is using his A1. Because if he is, then you also have this buff transferal on the A2. If it's not an ally attack and it's a different kind of hit, then you don't have it. But that would be kind of interesting if it did. Well, maybe if you know, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, I'd have to play test him in order to find out. And then if the enemy is killed by the ally joining this attack, activates an instant turn effect on that ally, which is your highest crit damage ally. That's incredible. That's a great A2. That's a really cool A2. We haven't seen much like this before. I think so far I'm impressed. And then revive a single dead ally with 75% HP and 75% turn meter. That's a very nice single target revive. It is on a 4-turn cooldown, which is, that's okay. Places increased attack and perfect veil on that ally for 2 turns. So that this revive is okay. I mean, it's a strong revive. It's on a long cooldown. It's only a single target. I would say that's maybe slightly above average, but not phenomenal. Now let's look at the passive. At the start of this champion's turn, has a 40% chance to remove any block debuffs from each enemy and replace them with a block buffs debuff. Also has a 40% chance to remove any buffs positively affecting stats and replace them with their mirrored debuff. He's Amius. He's like Amius, right? He's doing the flip. He's like taking all of the buffs on the enemy and turning them into those debuffs. It is only a 40% chance. It doesn't look like it can be booked to improve that chance, but it doesn't have a cooldown. So every turn, this champion is going to do that. That's going to be crazy everywhere. That's going to be great in PvE, but also in PvP. Potentially, it could cause some problems in certain fights. Maybe. Can it even? I don't even know that it can, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, there are some fights where you don't want to debuff the enemy. But like this could be good in Hydra. And it says from each enemy, literally each enemy. Wow. Is that a 40% chance per enemy, or is that 40% chance for all enemy? Because now I'm thinking Hydra. That's crazy. This is a very interesting champion and potentially going to be a very powerful champion on your roster moving forward. I like Highkeeper Prisma. This is a cool kit. Really good stats. I think this is a high value champion. Okay, so coming back here to this, do we want a second Newt? Do we want our first Duchess, our first clan father, Operdin clan father? Or do we want the new Highkeeper Prisma? And honestly, as much as I would love a second Newt, that would really be fun and cool and do so much for my account. As a free-to-play content creator, I don't think that is really relatable, so I'm not going to go for a second Newt. If I happen to pull a second Newt at some point, I'm not going to complain. Duchess would be huge for me. I think Duchess is better than Operdin Clanfather, but I actually just really like this kit, and I think it would be fun to theory craft and potentially could be very valuable in some end game content. So it's like, do I want him more than I want Duchess? Kind of. Maybe it's recency bias, but I kind of do. And then we've got our Geo here. I still don't have a Geomancer, so this is an opportunity today to maybe pull a Geomancer, and that would be kind of fun. All right, so here we go. Let's go ahead and pull some shards and see how we do. Again, we've got 11. Guaranteed we're going to pull at least 11 shards. Any epics that I can empower are also kind of a positive, and any gold basically is going to be good, but I really do hope I pull the progressive chance legendary. That would be so much fun. I have not pulled a legendary on a progressive in a very long time. I have gotten a few 10 times champions this year, but I haven't hit. Here we go. Come on, who is it? Oh, it's Abyss. All right. I have a copy of Abyss. I pulled her not that long ago. So this is now a duplicate. The good news is I think I'm getting close to maxing out the Sacred Order Faction Guardians. I think this is now either my 4th or 5th copy. Let's go look. Let's go look right now. I think it's at least my 4th, but maybe I'm wrong. Sacred Order. It's only my third. Oh, it's my third copy of Abyss. Okay, so that's actually even less valuable than I thought. I don't know what to do with that then. Okay, that's just more disappointing than I thought it was. But the good news is now we've got that progressive chance there for the next legendary. Now we're looking at 20 times chance. So, okay, let's go ahead. We've got the 25 times chance for Geomancer. And there he is! There he is! It's done. The box is checked. I never have to say your freaking name again, you stupid dwarf. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not really angry. I'm happy. I'm happy, buddy. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I don't know what to do with them, but I have him. I have him. It's done. Finally. The monkey is off my back. That feels good. That feels good. This is now, I almost don't care what happens with the rest of this event. I still do. I want tons of legendaries. Okay, but I don't really care what happens with this event. It's a winner. And yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. By the way, just in case you don't know, I've never said this before, I don't think, but it was kind of funny because last event, I actually got Fodbor, who is a dwarf here, this guy. And I hadn't pulled him either. These were the two epics, like old school epics that I had never pulled. And now I got them in back-to-back shard pulling events. And Geomancer is that box is checked. I'm not even going to build him, I don't think. I'll get him to 40. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what to do with him. There's nothing that I need him for, but it's just good to have that done. All right, that is a good event. Now, the question is, do we change up this? Do we go for empowerment there, or do we try to empower some of their other epics? We'll probably just stay with the Geomancer. So how many shards do we have left to pull? I think we pulled 4. I think it was only 4, right? So we have at least 7 more to go. All right, so we've still got plenty of chances for another legendary. If I get like 3 Geos, I'm just gonna crack up. I'm gonna laugh. But man, that's good. Way better than that Abyss. All right, so Annex, I think this is gonna be a +4 Annex. So now Annex is totally maxed out. That's not bad. Old Hermit Jorg, who I absolutely love. I think he's a great champion. So that was my 7th, going into the 8th. Here we go. We hit another one. Come on, come on. Ah. Blood Gorge. He might be a dupe. He might be a dupe. Let's see. Is he a dupe? Not that. Faction Guardians, Undead. Is he a dupe? No, he's not a dupe. Is he really not a dupe? Yeah, it looks like he's new. Okay. I think it's because I pulled Nethril recently, maybe, and I confused Blood Gorge for Nethril. So a new legendary. He's not a bad legendary. He's actually got an AoE that puts one of each target skills on cooldown, which is kind of cool. A little bit of a lockout there. And then he ignores defense. Enemies killed by the skill cannot be revived. It's always good to have a block revive champion as well. This is on a 4-turn cooldown. I don't know how his multipliers are. If you run Blood Gorge, let me know. Just looking at his stats, it's a little bit underwhelming. He's a little bit slow. His attack is okay. I don't know how his multipliers are. So let me know if you run Blood Gorge, how good he is right now. But hey, 2 legendaries, that's not bad. Now we're up to the full times 25 chance. We're going to pull at least, 3 more, I think. That was the 8th one. So we're going to at least 11. We've got, maybe we'll get 1 more. Maybe we'll get 1 more. That would be fantastic. We got another Geo. I knew it. I knew he was coming back. It was like, hey, man, it's been 3 years and 8 months, and you haven't pulled the Geomancer, but today you're getting 2. Of course, today you're getting 2. Why not? All right. 1 more shard here. Probably another one after that for the tome. 2 Geomancers. You got to be kidding me. All right, yeah, and then we're going to do 1 more, and we're going to go after that legendary tome. And it's the 3rd. I knew it. I knew it. What did I say? I said I'm going to get 3 of them. I said I'm going to get 3 of them. Geomancer, you are a pain in my butt, man. You're a pain in my butt. 3 years, 8 months, none, and then one day you get 3 copies. I'll probably build him and empower him. Why not? I guess so. Why not, right? Why not? He's done. So, yeah, all right. A decent day with the legendaries. The Abyss was kind of a miss, but the Blood Gorge, I'm happy about because he is a new legendary. And I'm very happy to have my 3 Geomancers on the team. That is done with. Let's go take a look at the event point totals. This is my Summon Rush. And as you can see, I'm just 250 points away from this skill tome now. So I'll finish that off with mystery shards over the course of the weekend. Or maybe if I get a couple of sacred shards from my clan boss over the weekend, I might pull. But I am currently sitting at, I believe, what am I at now? 16 or 15? I'm at 15 sacred shards. And so I do have a thought in the back of my mind that there may be a guaranteed champion somewhere over the next few weeks that would take 20 sacred shards. So like I have no input on that. Like nobody's told me that, but you never know over the holiday season. So I might just hold on to these sacred shards, try to get them back to 20 in order to feel safe. Who knows? All right, there they are, my trio of Geomancers. My long trial is done. I'm very happy. Let me know in the comments below, did you hit on any of your progressive champions? Did you hit on anybody else? Did you have a successful shard pull event? And if you didn't, feel free to let me know that, because you know very well that I have missed several times, and I will commiserate with you. So that is it for today's video. Thanks so much for hanging out. I have been Colred. I will see you in another video soon.